Hi, welcome everyone to the second video about iOS 14 and getting ready to run user acquisition campaigns on iOS 14. So we're going to talk about today about the user consent and how to handle it and manage it properly. Same again as last time, a quick disclaimer to mention that this topic is evolving very fast, so be careful that the content is updated at mid-December. So any change that can happen from Apple, the third-party tracker, traffic sources may change the content. So let's talk about the user consent pop-up. So first of all, if you didn't watch it, please watch the first video about iOS 14 context and attribution. What we mentioned there is that to collect the IDFA, Apple will require app developer to explicitly ask for user consent. That's what we call a user opt-in. In the past, we've seen the release of limited tracking on iOS. It is activated by around 30–40% of users. It's slightly different to what Apple is introducing with iOS 14 because LAT, limited tracking, is an opt-out at the device level. The user consent they are implementing on iOS 14 is an opt-in at app level, meaning that the user behavior might be very different. So we might see that percentage of users not being tracked quite higher. What's the status on IDFA? So before moving forward, I think it's really important to consider your user experience, because displaying that consent message, that you've seen on the very first video can have a negative impact on user experience. Why? Because you ask them to track them. So really think of, should I display the message or not? And what is the goal of collecting the IDFA in my app at the moment? So make kind of a check, a status on IDFA at the moment in my app. Why do I need it? When it's done, as I was mentioning, think about collecting this IDFA or not. Do you really need it? Do you think that will bring added value to your data, to your business? Because the negative impact can be user experience. Addict Mobile really believes that the IDFA and the signals given may really help your business, especially user acquisition. But we just want to give you the context of asking for that IDFA. So a good opt-in rate will allow app developers to gather more data. So with more IDFA, you'll be able to analyze better your activity because you have I would say the full data, granular data, user level data that you can use for a lot of purpose. Obviously for attribution, to better understand your attribution, maybe for monetization or for anything that you need. And you will be able to also to estimate your user acquisition campaigns performance and be able to extrapolate this IDFA data to the campaigns that are tracked through SKAdNetwork that don't deliver as much data, as much granularity. So that would be a really good proxy to be able to manage your other user acquisition campaigns. So that's the challenge and the goal, to get more user consent on that tracking thing. So what are the user consent strategies we can think of? So first of all, we want to mention the Adjust Playbook that has been released a couple of weeks ago, that really deep dives into strategies on how to ask that consent. So it's a document, 20-page document that's dedicated to this topic. Please ask, if you didn't read it yet, ask your Addict Mobile reps to share the document with you. And all the ideas, well, some of the ideas presented here in this session are coming from this document, because I guess it covers a lot of things. So it's very interesting. And for more details, please again, check the document. So the first thing is define when during the user experience, when you want to ask to track the users. So have a clear idea of the best moment to display the pop-up. So you have a customer journey that you may know really well. So understand when it would be interesting to show that pop-up to the user and when it will maximize the opt-in rate. So do that analysis to define the best moment. And if IDFA is triggered late, think about the relevancy of asking it. Why? Because if I'm an advertiser, I spend money and I have to wait, let's say 6, 7, 8 days, for example, to trigger my data and know that my users are making the actions I want or triggering the installs. I can't really wait like a lot of times, like 7 days to get the data from the investment I made. So should I display the pop-up if it's triggered like 1 week after the install? That's really the question. So think about, I think, a short-term approach to really gather this data. Otherwise, it may be less relevant the longer it takes. Display a pre-permission, meaning that before showing Apple's pop-up, ask users in advance if they would accept to be tracked. What you can do is within your app, make kind of a pre-permission, ask them if with your own screen, your own frame, graphics, whatever you want, and make sure that you will, when you will ask for Apple's pop-up, the user will accept it. So A/B test pre-permission message to optimize this opt-in rate. And if the users obviously accept your pre-permission message, then display the Apple's pop-up and the one that will really trigger the IDFA. Another point is customize the message. So you can really bring value to convince users to accept tracking. We can see in some of the illustration that if you don't want to be distracted by random ads later, just opt in now. So that's a value we can think of, but every app would have different value, obviously. Don't lie to the users. Don't promise anything you won't be able to do, because that's even worse for user experience and they will quit the app. Contextualize the screen around the pop-up when it's displayed. You can do everything you want. So when Apple's display pop-up, you can do graphics around, you can add other message on top so that it helps users feel comfortable, feel that they need to allow the tracking. And then you can also optimize and customize the Apple's pop-up copy. So that's the green square here. And finally, the A/B testing. So very important to take advantage of Apple postponing the rollout of App Tracking Transparency Framework to be able to make tests on the opt-in message and to maximize, obviously, the ratio you will get out of IDFA. Test different messages, test different approach. You can, if you are able to do it, target specific audience and see the behavior of each users per geo, per socio demo, per behavior, per source, whatever you can think of. And finally, obviously, analyze the opt-in rate to validate test and be ready for the rollout. So what's the action plan? Action plan, first and foremost, is gather all the stakeholders on this topic. It can be product managers, marketing teams, data teams, dev teams, whoever will be impacted by this topic should be there because it's so important. So with all the team, think about the following topic. So make a status on how IDFA is used at the moment. How do you trigger it and why? And what is it used for? Then think about the need to collect IDFA. Do I need it or not? I think in most of the cases you will need it, but maybe some apps are not really in need of triggering the IDFA. And finally, if you need to collect it, most of the cases, I guess, set up your action plan. So when should I display the message? When in the user experience? Which message? What brings value? Provide context and value, as I was mentioning, and do A/B test according to different audiences, obviously. So I guess it helped you guys to really have better understanding on the user consent pop-up. In the following video, we'll talk about an important topic, SKAdNetwork. I really advise you guys to watch it because to me, it's the most important thing regarding user acquisition under iOS 14. So thanks a lot. Feel free to contact Addict Mobile reps or myself via this email, and thanks for your attention.